Yo, Revolver here. And welcome to the 25th episode of the Ayaka progression series. We are slowly but surely approaching 3.3. Well, we really don't have that much time left until the next preview. If I'm right, we will already have somewhere around the next weekend the 3.3 preview. Because of the rumors that once spread around in the comment section, if Ayaka should really end up having a rerun in 3.3, we are slowly getting to the end of the series. Obviously, no confirmations. But on the 4th of December, I will pick this up again. And then there will be a lot to talk about. Anyways, what I wanted to say is, I want to take the time to continue a topic that we once began in episode 11, saving up. Today I want to go more into strategies that might be helpful to stay dedicated to save up. I just want to say quickly, this is really only meant for the people that are probably F2P or low spenders. For whales, saving up is not really a problem. We're gonna continue from where we left off. By now you should know what type of player you are. And from here on, it can vary a lot depending on player. One thing that helps me at least is being critical. To remind myself that I can't have everything in life. To apply that to a game is definitely more difficult. But in this type of game, it's not even that far away from the truth. Because of the progression series, I calculated the time that you have to save up until you get a guaranteed 5-star of the event banner. And that's about a little bit more than 4 months. Take that with a grain of salt though, because the primos of events can vary. But if we just take this as an example, technically you can get in a year about 3 guaranteed 5 stars of your choice. Obviously, depending on luck, you might get even more. But one thing that I can say is, just forget the whole luck thing. If you start to save up, you should completely forget luck. And just look at the amount you need until you hit your guaranteed 5-star. Because luck is not gonna help everybody. My account is the perfect living example of it. I pretty much spent everything for the sake of Ayaka, but I was only able to win 2 50-50s. I got shafted almost every time. Am I disappointed? No, not at all. Why? Because I set my expectations by only getting guaranteed Ayaka cons and not more. Especially if you decide on being a F2B and start this game, you have already accepted the fact that you have to save up a ridiculous amount of Primogems to get a guaranteed 5-star of your choice. Otherwise, you might end up with a disappointment. To remind yourself of that is important. You really have to see it as a fixed price for the 5 stars you want. Otherwise, you will have a tough time saving up. When you think about it, that you can get only about 3 5 stars a year, and about 10 new character releases this year with also reruns together, it just confirms that you won't be able to get every single one. That is what I mean by being critical. I think if you can try to be more of a critical thinker, you will probably have a much easier time to save up. Like always going off from the worst case scenario. As example, not pulling for 4 stars. Because they might eventually end up in a banner which you want the 5-star from. Or that reruns will always happen. That you don't have to stress about the newer or older characters. As I said, those are just some examples. Such a way of thinking helps me at least to save up. This next tips comes kinda from critical thinking. It's just planning everything out up to the smallest detail. From the information that you've obtained by now and the facts that are laying across of you, deciding on which characters you want to pull might be helpful. It can also work by just anticipating. I mean, as example, every Archon until now was very strong, and they kinda tried to make them strong. that the community can be satisfied. Therefore, I'm saving up for the Archon from Fontaine. But to not go 100% of patterns, because they can always change, I save at the same time for Kokomi. And maybe when the Fontaine Archon drops, you might like her design and gameplay. With the release you might know then the actual numbers. And through testing of other people you get the confirmation to pull for her. Or maybe you end up not liking her at all. Maybe you just don't like her character. And you just wait until Kokomi is back. Or you get both, because until Kokomi is back, you might even have enough to get her too. Obviously, you can't go off just from the patterns. But besides deciding on characters, calculating the amount you need, going off from logical assumptions in a healthy amount is not a bad thing at all. I think it can be very helpful. Just the whole process of planning things out for deciding on characters can maybe help you to take away the interest in potential new characters. Because you have already put effort into creating and carry on with the plan. That way you still stay dedicated to saving up. The last tip that I can give away is make a screenshot of your progress. I think this helps me a lot. Since I started to save up the first time for Ayaka, soon I started to take screenshots every day of the saved up Primogems. For some strange reason a lot of humans like seeing the numbers go up. But also, with that I can always remember how long I worked to get up there. At some point it just becomes like a ritual, to grind your Primogems for the day and then to take the screenshot. It's almost the same as how I did it for this series. To summarize, critical thinking, planning ahead, which concludes kinda from critical thinking, and last but not least, making screenshots or just some documentation of your daily progress. At the end of the day, as I once said in one of my videos, I can just hope that these tips help out at least one person, and that you found maybe some motivation or help from this video. I still wanted to make a follow-up from episode 11, if the series should really end. But even if it does, I could still make in the future more videos regarding this topic, so it's not a biggie. That's it. Stay safe guys. See ya.